Hi there, Stan the Annuity Man live event from Las Vegas, Nevada, where my home office is located. Welcome. Today's topic's a big one, and it's a good one, and it's a controversial one, and it's on indexed annuities, the brutal facts and truths about indexed annuities. I do this occasionally to educate the public and to offer a couple services that are needed for people to have someone look at the index annuity that they might have purchased by mistake, etc. Before we get started, there's a couple ways I'm going to take questions. Obviously, you can type in the question on the live event here, and Zeke behind the camera will pop it up and I'll read it off. I'm also taking questions on my email address. If you have that, you can shoot me an email. And also, if you have my cell phone number, you can text. So I might be going back and forth between all three. Before we get going, a couple things. A lot of people are going crazy about the hats. You know, I'm always wearing hats. And for the record, you know, Zeke's got a head full of hair and a chin full of hair. I mean, he's one of these bearded wonders out there. But I do have a head full of hair. It's just shaved. But anyway, that's because I'm old. But I'll send you this hat. I mean, look at this hat. It's got the logo on the back. It's got the thing on the side. If you're a client and you don't have one of these, you know, shoot me an email. My email actually is stan@theannuityman.com. You can send me an email and I will send you one for free. And if you're not a client, you're a prospect or someone out there thinking about becoming a client, you can send me an email as well, stan@theannuityman.com. My cell phone number, I'll just go ahead and give that out. I know you're saying, really? Do you give that? Yeah. I mean, I get calls all the time, but I'm accessible. I own the company. It's a big company. Number one sellers of fixed annuities in the country. Licensed in all 50 states and Puerto Rico. I am America's annuity agent, but I'm the most accessible CEO on the planet, and I'm proud of that. So, you know, my wife and I still own it, and that's a good thing. Another thing before we get started, I have written a bunch of owner's manuals, okay? You know, deferred income annuity, MIGA, SPIA, income riders. But on today's topic, I've written one on indexed annuities. No, I'm not going to send you the hard copy. I used to send this a long time ago, but it got to be like we were a book company. I mean, we shipped so many. But you can go to my site at theannuityman.com and download it. I think it's about 90 pages. Very easy to read, understand. I go through all of the strategies, the caps, the spreads, the participation rates, all of that nonsense, all of the upfront bonus nonsense, which I call candy for the stupid. But I also say how we use index annuities. We're one of the top sellers of index annuities on the planet. We just use them primarily right now at the time of this taping for an efficient delivery system for the income riders. Now, again, my cell phone is 904-614-2001. Email stan@theannuityman.com. And again, you can pop questions in here and Zeke will pop them up. But let's go through indexed annuities and where they all started, and then we're going to open it up. And as you know, if you've been on these before, they're a lot of fun because I don't hold back. Indexed annuities were developed and introduced in 1995. The first company that offered an index annuity is a company called Keyport Life, not Keystone. Keystone's a beer, Zeke. Keyport was the company that offered in 1995, and they were developed, index annuities were developed and designed to compete with CD returns. Not market returns, CD returns. So let's be very clear about that. Let's get that out of the way because a lot of the sales pitches you're going to hear are market upside with no downside, market participation with principal protection. There's only the no downside and the principal protection part is true. These are fixed annuities. These are not securities. There's nothing FINRA and SEC, they don't even look at these. Okay, now ironically, in the last couple years, there's been a product that has been introduced by the brokerage world that requires you to have a Series 7 or a, you know, RIA, that type of thing, that kind of licensure to sell. It's called a registered index linked annuity, RILA, but it's nothing more than a very fancy indexed annuity that I call a copay annuity. But once again, I have a different take on annuities. You know, having been with Dean Witter, Payne Weber, Morgan Stanley, UBS, I do understand market growth. I do understand portfolio management. I do understand it. Been on side of that ledger and worked in World Trade II before it fell. and came to this side and was flabbergasted, this side meaning the life insurance annuity contractual guarantee side, and I could not believe the sales pitches that I was hearing and the sales pitches I continue to hear. The Bad Chicken Dinner Seminar sales pitches. And one of the reasons that every single person you meet, whether it's your banker or your advisor, they're all trying to sell you index annuity. Currently, it's the highest commission product out there. All commissions are built into annuities. You don't see them. They're hidden from the consumer. And it's a net transaction to you. So the commissions are paid from the general account. I don't want you to think that, if you put on 100,000, then 7,000 of that goes to the commission. You start with 93. No, you start with 100. 100 goes in, 100 goes to work for you. But the hidden commissions on index annuities are historically the highest in the business. That's the reason every single person tries to sell it to you. It's also a very good story and sales pitch that's not true. And the sales pitch typically goes like this. Hey, I've got this product that, and they pitch it like it's brand new, 1995, that you get market returns and no downside, and you can get an upfront bonus, which sounds great, and you can get free long-term care. All of that's garbage, okay? Except for the principal protection part. Upfront bonus is nothing more than the contractual guarantees of the policy, just part of it. We don't care about that. Nobody's waking up in the morning at an annuity company going, you know what, I want to give money away. No, upfront, if you're buying an annuity for an upfront bonus, like buying the car for a stereo system, and I coined this on a podcast a long time ago, I just randomly said upfront bonuses are candy for the stupid, and it stuck. But it really is true. But that's missold. The long-term care side's missold. 99% of the income riders that you can attach to index annuities are what's called confinement care. In essence, it's if you get sicker, you get your money back quicker. It's really nothing more than that. And then the market participation side is where all the crap comes down, and annuity agents will show back-tested numbers, hypothetical numbers, theoretical numbers, what I call unicorns chasing the butterflies, and the unicorns never chase the butterfly, never catch them. But it sounds too good to be true. It is every single time. But you have to remember with indexed annuities, fixed index annuities, and by the way, to go back just a little bit, when they first were introduced, they were called equity indexed annuities, and the industry literally had to change the name because it's not it has nothing to do with equities, and agents were crossing the line as they're continuing to do even with fixed index annuities. What you're getting with an index annuity on the accumulation value side, you're getting an index on an option on an index, a call option. You're betting for it to go up, and there are some indexes you can bet for to go down, put option. But most of them are call options on, say, the S&P 500. Now, what the agent doesn't tell you is that does not include dividends. And with S&P, the S&P 500, if you do your research, over 50% of the returns are typically attached to the dividends of the S&P. So the other thing you have to remember is most, not all, but most index annuities, you get to lock in gains, hopefully gains, on 1 day per year. The other 364 days, you're an absolute annuity eunuch. Sorry about that. And you don't have anything that you can do. And then so when agents or advisors or fee type people say, I'll manage your index annuity and charge you a fee, that should be illegal. That's crazy, okay? There's nobody out there that can justify that. Got in an argument with a brokerage firm recently that their director of annuities, whoever that is, emails me, goes, there's justification for wrapping a wrap fee on an index annuity. I'm like, no, there's not. Because you're slave to the day. You can log it in 1 day. So there's a lot that we're going to unpack here today. I'm going to go ahead and open it up for questions, and let's see where it all. I have no idea where this is going. I just know this. We're going to have fun. I'm going to tell the truth. As you all know, you've heard me say it before. My grandfather, he didn't know this when he said it, but this is the business model. When you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. And that's what we do here at the Annuity Man. One last thing. You can, and I'm going to offer this before I forget it, if you have purchased an indexed annuity, high pressure, you bought it for the wrong reason, and 2 years later you figure out this thing's not going to do crap from a return standpoint, and you want me to take a look at it, I will take a look at it. Most indexed annuities that you buy with income riders, you can't switch it, because in order to switch an annuity to another annuity, you have to prove to the receiving annuity company that the annuity that you're going to is contractually, not hypothetical, not theoretical, not projected, contractually better than where you're coming from. And if you attach an income rider to an index annuity, that income rider does not transfer. You can't get to that money. It's only there for lifetime income. So draw a line down a blank sheet of paper. This side's the index annuity side, called the accumulation value. This side over here is the income rider side, okay? This side does not transfer. This side you can't take money out of. It's this side. That's your death benefit. That's your transferable amount. So a lot of people call me and go, well, I bought this index annuity. I put $200,000 in. It's worth $210,000. It's done nothing. And now this income rider is now worth $270,000 or $280,000. That means this does not transfer. The $210,000 transfers. The $280,000 does not transfer. So let's open it up. This is a good question from Midway One. I love this. Will any FIA with regular caps or participation rates or spreads struggle to do better than the best MIGA rates because dividends will never be included in the performance of the reference S&P 500 index? The answer is absolutely yes. MIGAs, multi-year guarantee annuities, which are the annuity industry's version of a CD, and if you go to my site at theannuityman.com, you can see the best rates for your specific state. They are going to outperform indexed annuities on the regular, period. There might be 1 year an index annuity outperforms the MIGA, but blended, the MIGA wins. And the MIGA has won since 1995 in most cases. Okay, so you got to say, wait a minute, Stan. We've been in the best, biggest bull market of all time, the biggest bull market of all time, and you're telling me that index annuities have not outperformed MIGAs? That's what I'm telling you. And it's the truth. So because in the indices, the indexes that are involved with index annuities don't include dividends, that's a big part of it. Here's another problem I have, is a lot of companies are creating indexes out of midair. Let me explain that. What they do is they create an algorithm to look backwards and to capture an actual rate of return, and then they name it. Let's just say they name it the unicorn index, and then they package it. You buy the index annuity, and the agent says, this unicorn index, if you'd have owned it 10 years ago, you'd have got X. Well, it's only been on the planet 6 months, so there's no way, in my opinion, that you can legally say 10 years ago the unicorn index would have done X. No, you should say the unicorn index has been on the planet for 3 to 4 months. We have no idea what it would have done in the past, even though the algorithms will tell us, etc. But it's not presented like that. So you see a lot of indices, or indices, plural for indexes used that you've never heard of. One of the other reasons that happens is because the options that the annuity companies buy on these indexes, they can buy them cheap. I'm not going to go into those details. Once again, you can go down the rabbit hole with this book, or you can go to my YouTube channel. I've done tons of videos on caps, spreads, and participation rates. But all you need to know is a cap, a spread, and a participation rate, or whatever combination that the annuity company uses. That's nothing more than a limiting lever of the return. And a lot of times you'll see, well, I had a call the other day. Guy said, well, the cap on this one is 9% on the cap. And I went, okay, that's good. What's year 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10? He goes, I don't know. I said, of course you don't know, because they're going to change it at their discretion. Most indexed annuities companies can change the cap, the spread, the participation rate, the limiting factor on the return at their discretion. So you could have 9-year teaser rate first year, second year it could be 3. A lot of times people will say, Stan, should I buy a MIGA or should I buy an index annuity? I ask them about the participation rates and I tell them about they can change them. But a lot of times the upside, the actual maximum upside, if the planets align themselves, is less than what you could get on a MIGA guaranteed interest rate. And remember, MIGAs are nothing more than the annuity industry's version of a CD. So this is a great question, because a lot of times even the potential and hypothetical will not beat a MIGA. So when you go into any type of annuity purchase, the question should be, number one, what do I want the money to contractually do? And when do I want those contractual guarantees to happen? If you say to me, too many people say this, well, I just want a reasonable rate of return. Well, just reasonable. What is that, Ernie? Well, I'd like, 7 to 10%. Really? live in a bull market much? We're getting ready to go through some choppy time periods. Been there, done that in my 30-year career. I've actually seen markets go down. And you got to ask yourself, if Johnny Appleseed agent or the young advisor you're dealing with, have they ever seen a real down market? Have they ever seen that? I have seen that. When I was working with Dean Witter, and this is a true story, I was working with Dean Witter in Florida. I'm not going to give away the where, because, you know, Zeke, people follow me around. You know, they do all that stuff. But anyway, another competing firm underneath us, I'm not going to mention their name, but it starts with an M. They were underneath us in another floor. Market crash happened, and the next day on that floor, with that other firm, guy walks into his broker, pulls out a gun and shoots him in the face and kills him. That's a down market, okay? We haven't seen a down market. We've seen a raging bull market that you think you can just throw a dart at it and everything goes up. And most agents, advisors, RIAs, etc., or brokers, they just think that markets go up. That's just what markets do. Markets go up. Not all the time. I hope I'm wrong. I'll be the first one to say, hey, I'm wrong. But markets do go down. They really do. Next question, let's do that. Explain the simple terms, the difference between FIAs, buffered products, buffered ETFs. I'm not securities licensed anymore. Don't want to be securities licensed anymore. There's no need for me to be securities licensed anymore. So I'll talk about buffered products, RILAs, index annuities, kind of in a general term, so the security industry police out there won't think that I'm violating. I'm not. This is my opinion based upon me working in the industry a long time. But like, for instance, registered index-linked annuities are what I call just fancy indexed annuities. They have a little bit more potential for upside. I hate the word P for potential. It should stand for principal protection. In my world, it does. But I call them copay annuities because you pay for the amount of downside exposure you want. So you're going to pay more if the downside exposure is less. In other words, you'd pay more for 10% downside exposure than you would if you wanted, up to 30% downside exposure. So I call them copay annuities. We do a lot of social media. We're probably one of the biggest social media people in the annuity business because I have a person that does that kind of full time for me, and he's really, really good. But we had a person respond the other day, and he was so angry at me because I was putting down, and I'm not putting down these products, like buffered products like this that protect some of the downside and allegedly give you more upside. And he pointed out a couple of specific years and specific products where it really worked out for the RILAs, etc. And then at the very end, like second to last paragraph, he goes, yeah, but you're kind of right in general overall. I'm like, of course. I mean, you can find me anomalies, 1 out of every 100 maybe, or 1 out of every 1,000, but you don't buy potential. I still, to this day, am going to pound the table and say, if you want market growth, don't buy annuities. Annuities should be non-correlated assets. Non-correlated means not attached to the market in any way. Well, people say, well, what about index annuities, Stan? That's a fixed index annuity. Yeah, but it's a call option. You're not participating in the full upside. You're not participating in the dividends. And if you're okay with getting CD rates, that's fine. We use index annuities and sell more than probably anybody out there just because we use them properly with income riders attached for future income needs. We really don't even pay attention to the caps and the spreads and the participation rates. So the difference between index annuities and buffer products, index annuities are fixed annuities, so there's no downside, period. I think the most positive thing about index annuities is you're never going to lose money, period, end of story. You're just not. With buffered and buffered ETFs, there's some downside sharing in the downside. With index annuities, if the index call option is out of the money at the end of the year and there's no profit, then you're going to get zero. And a lot of the returns on index annuities, people that are out there are going to nod their head in disgust. It might be 6%, 4%, 5%, 0.003. I mean, and markets literally work like that. And the fact that you can own, with most index annuities, only lock in the gain 1 day per year, you're slave to the day. You could be up, in the index world in the 52nd week of the contract, and something goes awry and you get zero. You should never buy it for returns. And I know the charts you see. You go to the Bad Chicken Dinner seminar, expensive steak dinner seminar, and the guy or gal shows you the chart that ratchets it up. Like you lock in, every game's locked in, every game's locked in. That's true. That's true. It is locked in. But the blended returns typically don't beat MIGAs. Now, I'm going to get a lot of know-it-all indexed annuity people there. Well, that's not true. Let me show you this specific product. Hey, I'm all for someone showing me one time in my 30-plus year, and I hope it would be 50-year career. I want to see a back-tested proposal, one of those, hey, if you'd owned it 10 years ago, you'd have made this. I want to see one of those projected return proposals come true. Or be even more than what has been projected. I've yet to see that. Now think about that for a second. I've offered big money on this too, and people cannot show me a projected, back-tested, hypothetical, theoretical, unicorns chasing the butterflies scenario where they made the decision to purchase the annuity that came true. The fact that I just said that should give you pause on any type of sales pitch that you hear out there. Just do me a favor. If it sounds too good to be true, it is every single time without exceptions. Index annuities are good CD products. That's all they are. Are they going to get better than CD returns? Maybe, but there's no guarantee. In the world that I live in, contractual guarantees only. I don't understand that. So with index annuities with income riders, the contractual guarantee is the income rider. So that's what we're looking at, the income rider. We don't care about the caps and spreads, participation rates. And by the way, upfront bonus and free money, it's part of the overall contractual guarantee. So when you go to my site or ask us to, free consultation, run a quote for income riders attached to indexed annuities, we're running the contractual guarantees, period. And the fees for the income rider come out of the index side. We're not looking at the index side. Also, too, things just come at me in ways because I've been doing this for so long. If an agent approaches you and you already have an indexed annuity and says to transfer it to another indexed annuity and use the upfront bonus to do it, please don't do that. The agent should lose their license. The other thing that index annuities are being improperly used for right now are Roth conversions. I need you to listen to me, okay? You do not need an index annuity to do a Roth conversion. You do not. You do not. And the only reason the industry is pushing this right now is because it gives the agents opportunities to flip, churn, twist, however you want to call it, flip the annuity where they're from to another annuity and claim that the bonus is going to make up for it and pay the taxes. Come on now. Do not take tax advice on Roth conversions from an agent or advisor. It better be from a CPA or a tax lawyer. And if you do not, then that agent, that advisor is liable if they don't have the credentials to give tax advice. The only tax advice I'm going to give you is don't take tax advice from agents and advisors that aren't CPAs, CFPs with that specific specialty, or tax lawyers. Please, please, please. Please listen to me on this. I'm getting too many calls about, we're doing this Roth conversion using these index annuities. Why are you using index annuities to do Roth conversions? You can just do a Roth conversion. You don't need index annuities. And then the next thing is like, we get this upfront bonus. I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. No. No. Let's see if we got some more questions here. Our annuity critic, I love that. Go ahead and click that one because anyone called the annuity critic. By the way, just if you want to know, I think I've trademarked that. But use it. Go ahead. Are you focusing this on annuities that are for regular income or their main purpose to get stock market appreciation? So you just walked into that one, annuity critic. Annuities should never be purchased for stock market growth. And this is coming directly to all those haters on social media that's coming at me and going, I bought this one and it got me some return. Okay, whatever. Okay, that's an anomaly, but that's not the norm. So no, I'm not talking about stock market returns because annuities should never be talked about with stock market returns. Annuities are transfer risk, hopeful, in your world, should be a non-correlated asset. From the standpoint of regular income, if income is what you want to solve for, there's four products that do that. Single premium immediate annuities, deferred income annuities, qualified longevity annuity contracts, and income riders attached to these indexed annuities. That's the 4 ways to do contractual lifetime income. But the fact that the annuity critic is talking about stock market returns and annuities in the same breath, that's just wrong. Now, you're saying, but wait a minute, Stan, why is everybody then talking about that? I don't know. All I know is historically, just looking at the numbers, looking at the returns, comparing it to like current MIGA rates, it makes no sense. It does make sense from an income rider standpoint to attach it to an index annuity. Why? Because if you die and your income stops because you're dead, death benefits in the indexed annuity side, okay? So the evil annuity company doesn't keep a penny, even though they're on the hook to pay as long as you're breathing. If you set up joint life, as long as both of you are breathing. And yes, you can use it in a non-IRA, an IRA, or a Roth IRA type account. It works, contractual. But don't think for a second that you're going to get stock market returns. And I will challenge anyone on this that's bought an indexed annuity to come back to me and say, the returns on the index side have been fantastic. Because then if you say that, I'm going to say, send me the results. I want to see it. Because I know every product out there. We track every product out there. We track the returns on every product. It's not like I don't know. So come at me. If you say, well, I got 9% every year. No, you didn't. You're lying. Because you're going to have to tell me the product, and then you're going to have to show me that, and I've got to look at it. And there's no way because I research it. So Annuity Critic, I appreciate it, but you're off base on the stock market thing. So let's go. What about an FIA gives 100% upside with 20% downside protection? You're actually talking about, in most cases, because there's thousands of index annuities. By the way, on a side note, I'll get back to this question. Currently, there's over 800 indexed annuity index option choices. 800. And they're all pretty much designed to give you that same CD or maybe a little bit better than a CD rate with possibly a teaser rate. This question looks like to me it might be a registered index linked annuity, because anytime you're talking about 20% downside protection, that's what I call the copay annuity. I am very familiar with these. I don't get into it because I'm not securities licensed, so I can't comment on specifics there. But from a 30,000-foot view, I can give my opinion. And yes, I have been securities licensed and could get securities licensed tomorrow if I found out that there was a product that deemed that made sense for me to get that. But right now, no. So next one. Love the hat you sent me. Once again, shameless plug. If you want a hat like this, you can get it. Just send me an email, stan@theannuityman.com. stan@theannuityman.com. If you're a client, you get one immediately. If you're not a client but thinking about being a client, then you just got to say nice things, and maybe I'll send it to you. So typically I will. So next question, what about buying a SPIA, no frills features for inflation, but instead buying TIPS to help with the inflation on the SPIA? I'm all for that. TIPS, which is Treasury inflation protected securities, I believe that's what that is. Back in the day, I knew that when I was selling them at Morgan Stanley. But TIPS are a great thing. It's a Treasury product. I have no problem with that. I always say there's 5 places to put your money that are safe: CDs, money market, AAA municipal bonds, treasuries, and MIGAs. Or in this case, index annuities are going to protect your principal. MIGAs are just going to get you a better interest rate. But I have no problem with the TIPS for inflation, because the inflation question always comes up, and every agent will tell you they have a product that adjusts for inflation. This index adjusts for inflation. No, it doesn't. And if they say that, let me give you the answer of what they're not telling you. Here's what they're not telling you. Here's the income rider. They're saying an income rider attached to the index annuity increases for inflation. Here's the level theirs starts at. Here's one without the increase. It's typically a 7 to 9 year break-even point with the ones that we've done and researched. It doesn't make sense. If anyone says that they have a product, an annuity product that increases with inflation, the annuity company's not giving that away. You have to be smarter than that. You cannot fall for that sales pitch. So getting back to this question, there's 2 ways to address inflation. I have no problem with using TIPS with a SPIA. Just get a straight line payout SPIA. Because if you get a COLA, cost of living adjustment increase on the SPIA, what do? They just adjust the payment. They don't give that increase away, okay? And there's no more CPIUs anymore. CPIU, Consumer Price Index for urban consumers, that used to be an attachment you could put to a SPIA, but I think the last one was about 5 years ago. And even then they were toying with that. But inflation, if you're going to solve for inflation, I'd rather you solve for it at the time you need to fill the gap for income. And then what we can do is we can do a reverse engineer quote to solve for that specific amount. Give you an example. Let's just say $5,000 your income floor, Social Security, pension, RMDs, whatever, and you're getting that, and you say, you know what, we need $5,500. You can go to my site, or we can do it for you. That you can run an annuity quote for lifetime income, solving for $500, meaning that using the least amount of money to contractually solve for the $500. That's the real way to solve for inflation. There's not a product. If I knew about it, I'd be telling you about it. There's not a product in the annuity business that magically floats and addresses inflation. Now, if you ask 10 agents, and I'm one of the 10, the other 9 are going to probably tell you they have it. They do not have it. If I don't have it, they don't have it. And if they say they have it, they don't have it, but they're telling you it does something it doesn't do. All right? Again, if it sounds too good to be true, it is every single time. I got a call the other day. Guy, well, I just bought an inflation indexed annuity that just, it's going to just right in line with the inflation. I'm like, it's not going to do that, Chester. I hate to tell you, and it's too late to get out of it, but it's not going to perform like that. It's just not. There's no way to price it. There's no way to price it. If you hear an annuity pitch, especially in the index world, and it sounds like, man, I don't know how, if you ask the question, like hypothetically, man, I don't know how they do that, but that's fantastic. They're not doing it because they don't know how either. All right, there's no magic formula, all right? Life expectancy drives the pricing train. Right now, at the time of this taping, I think life expectancy is a bargain because artificial intelligence is going to lengthen out life expectancy tables sooner than later. I don't know when. Someone called me the other day and said, well, when's that going to happen, Stan? When do you think those GLP-1s and AI is going to affect it? If I knew that, I wouldn't be talking to you. I'd be on my Learjet trading futures, right? Because I can see the future. So let's see if we got some more questions. Yeah, here we go. Are there any benefits to going with an indexed annuity versus a SPIA or DIA with similar guaranteed lifetime income streams? It's a very good question. Remember, there's 2 questions that we ask. What do you want the money to contractually do? When do you want those contractual guarantees to start? If anything past a year, if you say, I want the income to start in a year, 2 years, 3 years, 7 years, 9 years, whatever, we're going to quote deferred income annuities, okay, and income riders. Both are contractual guarantees. Both take 2 different contractual paths to get you to that number, but both are guaranteed numbers. We're going to show you both. At the time of this taping, income riders attached to indexed annuities right now, check the date, are beating contractually the deferred income annuity numbers. That doesn't mean they're better because deferred income annuities are a straight pension, easy to understand, no moving parts, no annual fees, AA plus carriers that typically offer those, okay? Right now, there's only one AA plus carrier even offering income riders, and they're fairly competitive. But we always say A plus or better for lifetime income. So the answer is we're gonna quote both strategies and then show you the highest contractual guaranteed numbers. So sometimes indexed annuities with those income riders attached. Remember, the income riders are the contractual guarantee. Okay, sometimes those are beating deferred income annuities. The other thing with the deferred income annuity, that is a very rigid contract. A lot of people don't like the rigidity of it. Think of ripping the knob off a water faucet and just income coming. Especially with index annuities with income riders for lifetime income starting in the future, it is a little bit more flexible than a deferred income annuity. Once again, doesn't mean it's better. And when we talk to you after we send you the quote, hopefully we talk to you, we're going to tell you the limitations, benefits, good and bad of both so you can make an informed decision on your terms and your time frame. Another thing, indexed annuities, there's no urgency to buy anything. There's no urgency to buy any annuities. Annuities are commodity products. The quotes change every 7 to 10 days, typically like a gallon of milk. We lock in the quote if you want to move forward with us. That's great. But if anyone's out there saying, we really need to sign the paperwork on this one, Mr. Jones, because this is going away. Full of crap. That is a shyster right there. That person needs to be out of the business and lose their license because there's never been a time where, oh, you got to buy. It's a fire sale right now. It's a fire sale. And typically, those fire sales, by the way, if you want to just watch and see how this works, typically that happens at the end of the year and the first of the year with annuity companies. They'll be pushing their agent army to say, get them now. Listen, it's going away. This bonus is going away. Come on now. Give me a break. Buying an annuity for a bonus is like going to the car dealership and buying the car for the stereo system, okay? Here we go. Let's do I have a MIGA due this year. Here we go. Mike, good to see you. Hope you got a hat. If not, get a hat. This is a hat. Stan at theannuityman.com. A MIGA is a fixed rate annuity industry version of a CD. We will be in touch with you to let you know you can get your money back, you can transfer it to another MIGA. There's a myriad of choices you have, but you fully control the money, so we look forward to hearing from you. Here we go. Next one, John Boy, which I like. Which John Boy, John Boy was the Waltons, I think, Zeke. That's way before your time. There was also a guy named John Boy who was a DJ in Charlotte, North Carolina. John Boy and Billy Show for all you out there. Is there an indexed annuity that one can continue to add funds over the time before starting the payoffs? The answer is yes. That's a positive of indexed annuities with income riders for lifetime income. You can add money to the policy, and typically, not all annuities, but I'm giving you a general rule, you can add up until 2 years before you turn on the income stream. So if you're thinking about turning on income in 2035, then you can add money up until 2033. And most index annuities with income riders allow you to add money, meaning it's a flexible deferred annuity, which means you can add money to the policy. Not all. You can't blanket say all with anything annuity, but the vast majority of index annuities with income riders do allow you to add money. The question that we're going to ask is why. Why are you doing that? What's the plan? Again, everybody in my office, if I haven't said this, I'm going to say it now. Everybody in my office in Las Vegas is licensed in all 50 states and appointed with all the carriers, but they're not on commission. Their incentive is for your experience to go smoothly and you make the decision on your terms and your time frame, client satisfaction. There's no sales goals. It is us trying to make sure that you're getting the right strategy and the right contractual guarantee for your specific situation. So never ever call us and say, what's your best index annuity? In fact, don't ask anyone that, because if you ask anyone that, most people go, well, I got it. Let me show it to you. There is no such thing. The best index annuity with an income rider is the one that provides the highest contractual guarantee for you. And these quotes change because carriers are trying to fill age tranches. So if they have your age range in there, they're going to lower the guarantee not to attract you, and vice versa. If they need your age, they're going to raise the guarantee to attract you. So that's a good question. Next, let's go back to Mike, because he's asking, what should I do with the MIGA? And Mike, you should know this by now, but we're going to ask you two questions. What do you want the money to contractually do? When do you want those contractual guarantees to start? And from those two answers, we're going to tell you and give you our recommendation for MIGA. So if you say, I just want to continue guaranteed interest rate, then we'll probably do a transfer to another MIGA non-taxable event. If you say, I need lifetime income, we could transfer it to an immediate annuity. Or if you said, I just want my money back, we'll have the carrier send you a check. So those are your choices. Next one, I have a guaranteed future income. Is this similar to an indexed annuity? Would have to see what you have. Guaranteed future income annuity, that sounds like one of those marketing things names that companies come up with. Also sounds like a deferred income annuity. And a deferred income annuity is an immediate annuity that's deferred past 1 year. It's a pension product. So that's a lifetime income annuity. It's not similar to an index annuity. It's similar to an income rider attached to an index annuity, because both provide lifetime income. Next question. Please elaborate on your comment that FIAs make an efficient delivery mechanism for income riders. Remember, draw a line down a blank sheet of paper, index annuity on this side, income riders on this side. You can't just buy an income rider. You can't come in, Stan, forget the index annuity, forget the variable annuity, which these attach to as well, and we don't sell for a myriad of reasons. I just want to buy an income rider. You can't. Income rider riding on top of the policy. We look at the index annuity as nothing more than an efficient delivery system for the income rider. Now, typically, variable annuities and index annuities are the two products that have income riders attached. Historically, indexed annuities with income riders have a higher contractual guarantee for lifetime income. We ignore the indexed annuity side. We throw a dart at it. Who cares? It doesn't matter. What matters is the lifetime income stream. So in this case, to explain the question, the index annuity is a very efficient, cost-effective delivery system for the guarantee. There is a fee for the rider, but it comes out of the index side, so we don't care. We're only looking at this. This is a net transaction to you and a lifetime income stream that you're never going to outlive. And if it's joint life, when you die, the income continues uninterrupted and unchanged for your spouse. When your spouse dies, the death benefit is on the index side. But let's go through that. Index annuity on this side, income rider on this side. When you take income out, when you turn on the income stream, subtract it from both sides. So there's a possibility if you outlive your life expectancy, you'll have zero in the index annuity account, which means no death benefit for your heirs, but the annuity company's still on the hook to pay. We have thousands and thousands and thousands of clients. I'm going to guess 5 to 10,000. I really need to look into this. Zeke, write that down. Zeke's very smart. And he's got like a quill pen. It's really cool. What I need to do is figure that out on how many people are at zero and the annuity company's still on the hook to pay. People always ask, what's the return on investment there, son, on that index annuity with the income rider? I don't know, Chester, until you die. Up until then, it's a straight transfer of risk. Okay? You're buying a pension. It's a non-correlated asset. Forget the markets. It's a non-correlated asset. Markets go up and down. This is a fixed product. Index annuity is a fixed product. It might have a call option on an index like an S&P. Who cares? You're going to get CD-type returns, and that's okay. You're going to get CD-type returns if the planets align themselves, and if the company is generous with their cap spreads and participation rates. But typically what you see are big-time teaser rates to get you in. I always tell people, all right, they gave you a 9% up cap on the first year. Then they got you. They can do anything they want. Year 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So in essence, you bought a 1-year guarantee with a 10-year surrender charge. Really? Now, who cares about that if all we're looking at is the income rider? All right? Let's do legacy is not a goal. I love that. No, you're wrong. I love you, Rich. Good picture, by the way. Very vibrant. Legacy is a goal. Legacy is leaving money to your heirs. Now, if you hate your beneficiary and you're and I get that. I have 2 daughters, 29 and 27. I would go back and forth with that. But legacy is leaving money to your heirs. Most people, when they want to do lifetime income, they're under this false assumption that, well, if I die, the annuity company keeps the money. Dumbest statement on the planet, and I lose IQ points every time I hear that. But with index annuities and income riders, you're not going to leave any money on the table. The annuity company is on the hook to pay, but they're never going to keep a penny. And we can structure SPIAs, DIAs, and QLACs so that when you die, 100% of the money that's left in the account goes to the beneficiaries, and the evil annuity company never keeps a penny. So under this, which is best, a SPIA or a FIA with a rider? If legacy is not a goal, and you just want to do life only, which means that when your Learjet hits the mountain, money goes poof, or if you buy it last week and then a bus hits you next week and money goes poof, you are going to get the highest payment, Rich. You are, because you're shouldering that risk for life only. But most policies are life with cash refund. But life only, if you run the quotes on our site, you'll see life only. We show that just to show you how it's priced. We'll show life only, life with period certain, life with cash refund, life with installment refund. But life only is going to get you the highest payment because you're transferring the risk for them to pay you for the rest of your life, but you're shouldering that principal risk based upon when you're going to die. So if you said, I want to maximize the payment, don't care about the beneficiaries, want the highest payment, and that payment's going to start within a year, immediate annuities all day long in a bag of chips. All right? Next, we just got our hats. We love them. See, my clients, I love that. I'll send you one. Listen, I got a text because one of the things you have to do is when I send you the hat is you got to take a picture of where you typically wouldn't go because you're living life for now. Chapter 2 is about you. Fly first class, your kids will. Let me introduce you to my 2 daughters, okay? You probably have that same thing. But the guy sent me a picture from Bangkok wearing the Stan the Annuity Man hat. Love that. I don't know, is it cheap marketing ploy, Zeke? No, not really. I just my goal this year, if I gave you the number of hats, it's in the thousands that we want to send out this year as a gift from Standing Annuity Man. Man, have I been blessed to grow this business like this. People always ask me, why Vegas? Well, first of all, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't gamble. I've been married 37 years, don't chase women. So all those things, Zeke, all of those things that Zeke loves, okay, I don't do. The reason that we love Vegas is because, number one, I like Vegas. I like the food. It's very good. It's a great place. It's really a fun place. Everyone here likes to be here. But in a place that is about risk, we are about no risk, zero risk. We're about contractual guarantees. So being the contrarian that I am, I'm like, well, why don't I just open an office in Vegas? Now, most of the time I live in Florida or Colorado, but I am here in the Vegas office a good bit. But that's the reason. I just thought it was contrarian. I thought it was cool. I like Vegas. Great workforce here. I got a great team, but that's it. So thanks for the hats. You can stand at theannuityman.com if you want a hat. Let's go to the next one. And we're going to go as long as you guys have questions. Why do annuity providers force everyone who gets an income annuity into the sideline market participation, which is nothing but a tax liability and tax burden shock to most owners? I don't know the genesis of, and I really would like for you to reach out to me, Stan at theannuityman.com, so I can look at that and give you a really good answer. There are some variable annuities when you turn it into a lifetime income stream that force you into a specific allocation. There are some index annuities that do that, not many, but I'd like to see your specific situation. But you should be you should be buying it for the income, for sure. But I'd like to see your stuff. I could definitely help with that. Okay, next question. When an index annuity product has an option for the cap or rate to be locked in for the entire duration, do you look more favorably upon them because that potential for a little bit of extra upside is more real? That's a really good question. The answer is no. I don't look favorably upon them because we don't recommend hypothetical, and we don't and what you're describing here is hypothetical. The cap, we don't know what the markets are going to do. What if the markets go 8 straight years of negative? You're at zero 8 straight years, right? You'd be better off in a MIGA. We look at contractual guarantees. Remember, for us and for my organization, and we are the top ones out here, annuities solve for 4 things: principal protection, income for life, legacy, and long-term care. And if you don't need to solve for any of those 4 things in the pill, the acronym's pill, then you don't need an annuity. And the 2 questions: what do you want the money to contractually do? When do you want those contractual guarantees to start? And from that, we can point you to the right contractual guarantee. But what you're describing here, 0 contractual guarantee. The only contractual guarantee is that the cap is high and they locked it in for that specific time period. Fantastic. But we still don't know what it's going to do. And under that premise, I would never recommend that. And under that premise, you should be in a non-annuity product so that you can be more flexible to make changes. Hello, right? Nod your head. Nod it. Go ahead. Why would you lock into a cap? Okay, why would you do that not knowing what the markets are going to do? No one knows, okay, when you could be flexible in real market products, meaning non-annuities. That's just the way I roll. Here we go. Next one. Your opinion about FIA in the long-term care market. I saw a product the other day that was pretty interesting. We're doing some research on it that had a real long-term care component to the index. It was attached to an indexed annuity. I thought that was interesting. I've got to do some more research. Most of the time when agents talk about long-term care attached to an indexed annuity with a rider, they're really talking about confinement care, okay, which means, I always have sayings for things: when you get sicker, you get your money back quicker. Big deal. All you're proving to the annuity company is that your life expectancy is less, and they go, okay, it's less, we're going to give you your money back quicker. But there is a couple of products that are coming out that I am looking at that have a long-term care component attached to an indexed annuity. Now, anyone that comes to us and say, I'm interested in long-term care, we refer them to the top long-term care expert in the country. He's out of Georgia. He's a good friend of mine. Been working with him for 25 years without any problems. And once we look under that that long-term care umbrella of many, many, many types of products, If he can't solve it, then he sends it back to me. If you're that person out there drinking a bottle of Jack Daniels and smoking a carton of Lucky Strikes with no filters like Zeke does every single day, then we're going to have to show you probably a confinement care product. But I am researching a couple products that are out there right now to see if they are real and not just pitched. Here we go. Are you talking about FIAs with or without income riders? I'm actually talking about both. We use them currently at the time of this taping. I hope this changes. I mean, I've been approached by every index annuity company. They'd love for me to get on the index annuity train and sell the hypotheticals and theoreticals, which I just can't. I'd like to see a true pro-consumer product. There's a good friend of mine in the index annuity business that's always trying to get me to do business. And I'm like, man, I'd love to, but you've got to show me the product that doesn't, that I, in my opinion, don't think it's not pro-consumer. Right now, I don't think it's in your best interest to buy it as an accumulation product, but boy, we love them as a delivery system for income riders. So yes, I am talking about the accumulation value with the caps, the spreads, and participation rates. Once again, go to my site, download the Index Annuity Owner's Manual for free. You can go to my YouTube site. I've done videos on caps, spreads, and participation rates. You're going, man, you must be a bored human being. Yep, 37 years married. That's what you do. You do that all day long. But yeah, we're talking about both. I just want you to understand that when you hear the good sales pitch at the steak dinner where you're getting the filet mignon, remember that, medium rare filet mignon, as I tell my mom that goes to these all the time. Just understand you're not going to get the market returns promised. Just are never there. I mean, I got a call the other day from a person that bought an index annuity under the premise of going to get all this market return. And in this raging bull market that we had, they've gotten zeros across the board. Zeros. I know. It's ugly, man. Or the guy that called me the other day and said, the market went up 20%, I got 2 on the index annuity. Sometimes that happens, okay? Just remember, it's a CD product, it's not a market product. As long as you're in that mindset, mind frame, you're going to be okay. But if once you step across the Rubicon and say, well, I'm going to get market upside with no downside, son, you're the rube at the table. You're the sucker at the table. They're looking for you to fly into Vegas and go to the poker tables, okay? Next one. How often will an index annuity beat an immediate annuity? I'm assuming and hoping that you're talking about for income. If you're talking about income riders, an immediate annuity starts 30 days from the policy issue as far out as a year, okay? That's how far you can defer. Lifetime income with index annuities during that little time frame, I'd say maybe 1% of the time there might be something competitive in the income rider side that turns on immediately, but 99% of the time the immediate annuity is going to beat the income rider. Now, where the income rider beats the immediate annuities if you defer it past the 1 year. Next question. So what's the case for an index annuity at all if a MIGA could be expected to do better? Good question. It's when you need, remember the 2 questions. What do you want the money to contractually do? When do you want those contractual guarantees to start? If the second question is income at a later date, that's when you use the index annuity with an income rider. If you said, Stan, I don't need income, I just want the best return with principal protection, it's MIGAs all day long. Multi-year guarantee annuities, the industry version of a CD. You can go to my site and look at the rates for your state. It's going to beat index annuities, period. I know that's going to ruin some days for some index annuity hucksters out there, but they know I'm right. And the only reason that they don't even go to the MIGA space is the MIGA commission that's built in compared to the index annuity commission that's built in is night and day. Index annuity is much, much higher. Next. FIAs for stock market play are totally different than FIAs for lifetime income. Which are you talking about? I'm talking about both. FIAs for lifetime income, great. We're doing lifetime income with income riders. FIAs for stock market returns, don't do them. Can't be more clear than that. That's crystal clear, as they said in A Few Good Men, that movie Zeke, where they're yelling at Jack Nicholson. Are you clear? Are you clear? Crystal. I'm crystal clear. Index annuities for stock market returns? No. Index annuities with the income riders for lifetime income in the future? Yes. What do you do over here for stock market returns? You don't buy an index annuity. Hello? Next question. I have a non-qualified annuity. That means non-IRA. Non-qualified annuity, blah, blah, blah. Annuity date February 1, 2056. 2056. What that means, by the way, every annuity, like deferred annuity, has what I call like the policy dead date, where you have to take money out even if you're alive, just because the policy itself ends. I think that's what you're looking at. Yes, you can talk to me about possibly getting out of this and going to a MIGA. Just shoot me an email, stan@theannuityman.com, and I'll set a time with you. But understand that if there are surrender charges, there's most likely no way to get out of that. And even if there's no surrender charges, I've got to prove contractually that where you're going to is better than where you're coming from. I mean, that's just has to be in place, and I'm going to do that. Next question. We're going to keep going. Let's do it. The insurance company can change the participation rate. Okay, what is the history? Which ones? How often? Okay, good question. There's 800 index options. There's tons of index annuity companies. That's a big time analysis. The history is they do change them a lot. Most of the time they do change them at their discretion. I'm not saying they're nefarious, but they do change it. So you don't know what it's going to be. You can't have me haggle for you on that. You can't call them, I'd really like a little bit better participation rate this year for me. You can't do that. The history is they do change them. The analysis on that, I'd rather you look at your hand and count the lines. It's irrelevant. What you need to understand is you're not going to beat them. You're not going to get consistent stock market returns. It's a CD product. Listen to me, okay? I know you're saying you're wrong. Okay, great. They're not a stock market product. You're not going to get consistent stock market returns. And typically, at the time of this taping, MIGAs, fixed rate annuities, beat the returns of index annuities. Next question. Of course, very few market have a fixed cap they can't change, blah, 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 blah. Whatever, I just said that. Next. Which FIs make sense? I think I've answered this 6 different ways, Zeke, and maybe it's just people that are coming in late, but I'm going to say it slowly. Here we go. Index annuities that make sense, you with me so far, are the ones that you attach income riders for future lifetime income at a specific date. Let me say it again. Index annuities, which make sense, are the ones that when you answer the 2 questions, what do you want the money to contractually do, and when do you want those contractual guarantees to start? When you say I want income in the future, that index annuity with the highest paying income rider makes sense. Index annuities for stock market returns don't make sense. Next, good afternoon from Lakeland, Florida. I want to just do that one. I live in Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida, most of the time. South of Jacksonville, north of St. Augustine. Northeast coast, kind of near Georgia. But hello, Lakeland. Love that. There was a good friend of mine, used to live in Lakeland in one of the biggest life insurance mines out there. And his name was Joe Gandolfo. He lived in Lakeland, Florida. A good man, passed away, but did a lot of good while he was here. Next one. SPIA versus index annuity focus on providing immediate income. SPIA. And anyone trying to fit an index annuity into that square peg, into that round hole, it's a commission play, nothing more. Next question. For a 10-year MIGA, what is the minimum credit rating you would usually, it depends. I always say that you marry, this is tough for Zeke, you marry the lifetime income, you date the MIGA rate. So for marrying lifetime income, that's A+ or better, you don't need a sweater. Okay, I just have to rhyme that one. But when you're dating a MIGA, I have to do some serious research. I've gone as low as B++, typically it's A-, but when I recommend it, I'm putting my license on the line. I've looked underneath the hood, okay, and I'm signing off on that. But it just depends. It depends on what state you're in. It depends on what carrier you're looking at. If you want to shoot me an email at stan@theannuityman.com, we can have a one-on-one conversation and talk about that. I want the We Love You Stan. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's not my parents because my dad's dead. And if that is my parents and my dad's alive, that's a problem, Zeke, because he's the great Santini. If you ever read the book, by Pat Conroy called The Great Santini. That was my dad. T. Haycock. He was a mess, but he was my mess. So it is what it is. Keep going. We're going, man. We're an hour in. We're going to go. About deferred income, seriously, do they ever beat just putting your money into a MIGA, then rolling over to a lifetime income annuity? Maybe. That's a good question. We have a strategy I came up with called MIGA to SPIA, which is a fixed rate annuity into an immediate annuity after the MIGA matures. That always works because I like keeping your powder dry. But if your question is, does an index annuity with a rider ever beat a MIGA with an immediate annuity? Yes, but that's not the reason you choose it. The reason you choose it is the MIGA is a little bit more flexible at the five. Let's say you bought a 5-year term, you can just get out of it. Most index annuities are 7 and 10-year term annuities, but all the deferreds I'm shown are inferior and lock me in today. It's a case-by-case basis. I will tell you, I'd love to take on your case and have a discussion, have my team put together some real numbers for you, stan@theannuityman.com, and show it to you and then tell you the good and the bad, the benefits and limitations of both. Next one. I have an index annuity with an income rider 2 years ago. If I had, I'm assuming you bought it, with an S&P A- company. Should I keep it or find an A+ company? I think you're going to be fine. If you want to run it past me, I'll give you my opinion. I think you're fine with A-. I just think that we're going into some strange financial times. Obviously, check the date. You know, right now at the time of this taping, we're having a little bit of a conflict overseas in the Mideast. We've yet to have a black swan event. I'm just saying also, too, with life expectancy tables getting ready to lengthen because of AI and medical breakthroughs, it's probably good to go with a little higher company, but I'm not sure it's worth getting out of an A- company, especially if there's surrender charges. Next question. Does it make sense to buy an index annuity if you don't want the lifetime income? Absolutely not. If you're saying, I don't need the lifetime income, should I buy an index annuity or MIGA? MIGA all day long. MIGA all day long. MIGA all day long. Hit it. MIGA all day long. No, don't buy an index annuity because MIGAs are contractual guarantee. You know what you're going to get every single year. Index annuities, you have no clue. What is your opinion on the annuities such as the equity use bridge with long-term care rider that can be used for long-term care without being taxed? I just talked about that. There's some interesting annuities out there, index, that we're looking at that are now approaching the long-term care like I wanted it to be approached a long time ago, not just when you get sicker, you get your money back quicker. We're looking at this one. I'm doing my analysis on it right now. Here we go. There we're going. We're going, Zeke. Zeke, I hope Zeke, do you have to go to lunch, Zeke? You're good? I think Zeke's fasting from Easter, but he just got the dates mixed up. What are the typical investment options in an index annuity, and those can be changed each year? First of all, investment options, wow. You're talking about a fixed annuity. I mean, investment options. Again, Index Annuity Owner's Manual or set a time to speak with me, stan@theannuityman.com. They can be changed each year. They're caps, spreads, participation rates, which are the levers that typically limit the upside, and they can be combined. You can have caps with a spread, spreads with a, there's 800 different index option choices with index annuities, okay? 800. I had a group in here the other day, and they were showing me their analysis as a software company on how they analyze index annuity choices. I said, you guys have wasted a lot of time and money. They wanted me to buy it. I'm like, no. So just get in touch with me. Let's talk. Here we go. Stan, do you use the same rating company for each carrier? No. AM Best, Moody's, Standard & Poor's, Fitch. AM Best, Moody's, Standard & Poor's, Fitch. We don't use Weiss for a myriad of reasons. I know them. Nice people. I used to speak with them on the financial circuit, so I know them, but we don't use Weiss. And we use the rating services as nothing more than an entry into the door to look underneath their hood. I have a couple of friends that retired from Wall Street that are bored silly, and they help me do some of the financial analysis looking under the hood, and we do have a pretty good risk mitigation team, including those guys. So we do look at things, and I will tell you right now, I'm looking at private credit. I'm looking at Bermuda, what they call, what my friend Carrie Pector from Retirement Income Journal calls Bermuda Triangle accounting, where Bermuda, Bahamas, where they're kind of playing some games. We're looking at that. I'm very concerned about some things that are happening, and there's some companies that we're not recommending right now because of it. I can't mention them because their lawyers would have a field day with me, but if you want to talk one-on-one, I will do that with you. So next question. We're going to have to, and Zeke, I think we're probably 10 minutes away. And then I got, as they say, you know what they say, Zeke? I got to go see a man about a dog. You know what that is? He does. It means I got to go pee. Hey, I'm 62. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. When in Colorado, go to that one. When in Colorado, where do you live? Littleton, Colorado. And the reason we chose that is my grandson, Cal, is within walking distance. Nothing more fancier than that. Okay? So Cal runs the show. Let's see. Here we go. Awesome hat. Been a customer for 5 years. Love it. Thank you so much. Hey, I'm going to say something real. We're not perfect. I mean, we are not perfect, but we do run toward the bullets, and we will do everything in our power to make your experience working with us a good one. Period. Okay. So let's see. I'm not going to comment. Someone put a question here about a specific company name. I don't do that. If you want to talk to me, I can talk to you about that specific company. So again, people are putting in, do not put in company names. I do not want to deal with lawyers, okay? And believe me, they're waiting for me to say it. So be careful. Here we go. Do brokers make additional commissions? No, they do not. No, advisors, agents do not make, they don't share in any gain or anything like that. So none of that. And also too, I think it's important to point out the index options that the carriers offer, those aren't profit centers for the company. So don't think of that either. Next question. All right, here we go. Do you still need to pay lifetime income rider charge after you turn on the income rider? Yes, how about that? The reason annuity companies have the big buildings, the income rider charge, which, remember, draw a line down the blank sheet of paper, income rider, index annuity, the fee from the income rider comes out of the index annuity side. Even when you turn on the income stream, that fee is going to be paid for the life of the policy as long as you're breathing. We're gonna do three more questions, Zeke, and then I gotta go see a man about a dog. Don't ask what kind of dog, Zeke. Never ask that. Here we go. What is the current best guaranteed income rider annual increase rate? Come on, man. You know better than to ask me that. I represent all carriers. These things change like a gallon of milk. What's the best annuity you got out there? What's the best guaranteed income rider? Depends on your age. Depends on if it's your life. Depends on if it's joint life. Depends on what state you're in. You need to get granular. You're at 30,000 feet. Give me some information so I can take the plane down and give you contractual guaranteed numbers. That's too general. Stan at theannuityman.com. I will be nice. Let's go through that. Second to last question, Zeke. Here we go. If they tell you that the indexed annuity follows the S&P 500, just not negative rate and max 10, how can it be? It would be lower than 10.25. The S&P 10. Because this is a good question. It's because index annuities, you can only lock in the gain on a specific day. Okay? So the other 364, you're an annuity eunuch. So you can't do anything. Okay? I love annuity eunuch, Zeke. That should be a t-shirt. Anyway, so that's how that happens. I had a situation the other day. Guy called me and he asked the same question. And I went and looked at the charts and I went, oh, because we had that dip for 2 weeks, so it totally voided out any return that you had, and then it popped back up, etc. Also, too, remember the S&P 500, it's not including dividends, so it's a snapshot. All right, I know what you're trying to do. I know what you're thinking. I can get the market returns with no downside, Stan, you son of a gun. I'm telling you I can do it. Go for it, man. Go for it. Your blended returns will not beat a MIGA, period. It's just not going to happen. Last question. Let's see. Let's do, let's do that one, Zeke. How does an indexed annuity, and by the way, if I missed your question, Stan at theannuityman.com. I will I mean, it's not some executive assistant, even though I have that, okay? It's going to be me in the hotel room late at night returning your flipping email, okay? Last question. How does an index annuity compare to a deferred annuity with a death benefit? You can set up a deferred annuity, deferred income annuity, with cash refund or installment refund so that the evil annuity company doesn't keep a penny, even though they're on the hook to pay forever. Just like with an income rider, the death benefits whatever's left in the index side, okay? With a deferred income annuity, we can set up so that not a penny is kept by the annuity company, but they're going to pay a lifetime income stream. Hey, we went an hour and 10 minutes, okay? We could keep going. We've got questions, till, as they say in the South, till the cows come home. Till the scrapple and the liver mush has been fried up, Zeke, and put in a sandwich with some mustard. I saw liver mush the other day, man. That looks good. Hey, do me a favor. Get the hat. Remember this. I keep saying this, but there's a reason. Hat's fun, educational. Fun, educational. Fun, educational. Kind of fun. The point is, engage with us. We're not hammers looking for nails. We're here to help. We're the top for a reason. There's no pressure. You're going to make your decision on your terms and your time frame. My name is Stan the Annuity Man. Best live event in a little bit, but we're going to have another one next month. See you then.